Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about setting up an HTML document. Now, the very first thing we need whenever we want to edit an HTML document is a text editor. So something like Notepad will work, for instance. Now, you can go ahead and use Notepad for this tutorial if you would like. I personally like Notepad++, and you can do a simple Google search and install it if you would like. It makes editing HTML documents a lot easier. It makes it easier to read. So in order to set up an HTML document, there's about 4 steps. The very first thing we want to do is declare that it's an HTML document. And then what we want to do is, for the second step, is to begin the HTML part where we want to put code with an HTML tag, and we will learn about tags in a moment. The third step is to create the head portion of the HTML document, and what goes in this portion of the document is if we have any external files that we want to link to, so like a CSS file where we have the style of the HTML document, what we want it to look like for the user, or a JavaScript file where we want the document to be dynamic, and we'll learn about these in later tutorials. And the fourth step is to create the body portion of the HTML document, and this is where the code goes, where we want to whatever we want displayed to the user, that's what we're going to put in this portion. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start a new HTML document, and let's go to Save As, and I'm just going to create I want to go to the desktop, and I'm going to create a new folder. We could just call it HTML tutorial, and then let's just name it index.html. Okay, so we have our HTML document. We're ready to start coding. So step 1 is to declare the document type, and that looks like this. We have an open bracket and exclamation point doc type, and that's in caps, and then HTML and a closing bracket. So that's step 1 right there. Now that's the first thing you want to have in your HTML document. And so the second step is to start the HTML document with the HTML tag. So this is what a tag looks like. It looks pretty much like this. Only thing you're going to have the open bracket HTML and the closing bracket. That is a opening tag. Now with every open tag you need a closing tag associated with it, and what you do to create a close tag is open bracket and then a slash HTML, and so that's the closing bracket for the HTML tag. And I'm just going to hit enter here, and to give us some space to put our code, and indent here. So whenever you enter a tag, you kind of want to indent and make it look nice. So our third step is to create the head portion of the document. So both the head and the body are going to go within the HTML tags here. So to start the head, that's all we do is just have a head tag and then close it and create some spacing there and indent since we've entered the head tag. And like I said, any external files we want to link to, we would include those links here, and we will go over how to do that in future tutorials. In this tutorial, we just want to put the title of the page, and so this will give a description of what the content of the page is. So let's just say HTML tutorial page and close that. Okay, and you'll see where this comes into play in a moment whenever we open it up in the browser. So now that we're done with the head portion, we're ready to create the body portion where the code goes that we want to be displayed into the browser. So we open it and close it. And so I'm just going to do something here so we can see that it's working. I'm going to do H1 and close it. Okay, so let's save this and open it up in a browser. Okay, so as you can see here, we have index, and it's an HTML document, and it's going to open up in Firefox. So just double click that, and it'll open up in your default browser. And as you can see, we have hello world, what I put in the header tags, and then we have the title, HTML tutorial page. You can see that that appeared up here in the tab. So that's kind of nice if your user has multiple tabs open, and they can see what each tab, what the HTML document consists of. It's kind of nice and makes it convenient for the user. So as you can see, we have this H1 tag that stands for header, and there's H1, H2, H3, all the way down to H6, I believe, where it makes these nice little bold-face headers. So like, let's do H2, and then let's do H3, and let's look at what that looks like. And we can just refresh that. And as you can see, H1 is bigger than H2, and H2 is bigger than H3. So it slowly gets into the decreasing size. But say instead of having this bold face, we just want a regular paragraph. We want just some regular text. Well, for that, you would use the paragraph tag. So P, and we could just put a simple sentence here. Close it. And we're going to refresh. And there you go. We have some basic text right here. So once again, this is where anything we want displayed out to the screen, that's where that's going to go, is in the body, within the body tags. Okay, now say you want to make sure that you don't have any errors within your HTML document. One thing that HTML will do if it runs across an error is it'll just ignore it and render the page however it wants to. So say we forget our H1 opening tag. And let's look at how that looks. As you can see, it just made it in the regular print, like the paragraph here, because we simply forgot our H1 tag. So one thing that you can actually do is use a validator, which is online, this markup validation service, and you can upload your file. So let's go ahead and find our document here. And as you can see, it passed. There were a few warnings here, but the big thing you want to worry about is if it were to fail. Let's see if we can make it fail, and that includes missing any tags, or if it runs across any tags it doesn't understand. So let's check this again. Okay, so there you go. Now it found an error, and if you scroll down, it'll specify. You can see that it's missing that opening H1 tag. So that's what it looks like to validate and make sure that everything is correct in your HTML document. And so we're going to go more in depth on what other tags there are in HTML, and what you can do a lot of things with this stuff. So we're going to talk about that in upcoming tutorials. I hope you found this useful, and that concludes this tutorial.